What is going on YouTube? This is Jim, aka Viper Magic, back with another video. Today unboxing the World of Warcraft Collector's Edition for WoW Classic. Now, as I open this, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about, first of all, why did I mention that I'm Viper Magic? I just had a very interesting video done about me the other day, in which somebody critiqued a lot of my previous work, and they kept calling me Viper Magique. And I didn't mind the criticism, maybe deserved, maybe not, but I said, you know what, I need to remind the people how to say my name, and it is a goofy college handle that I've had for a very, very long time, and it's one that I'm going to keep. That said, that's why I wanted to point that out. The second thing, as I butcher this box trying to open it ever so gently, is that Blizzard has come under a lot of fire lately. If you've been following the news, you know that Hearthstone has had a champion revoked. As I kind of pan through the box here, we can look at it together. Little champion revoked because of some things that he said about the Hong Kong protests. And a lot of people are actually trending right now with the terms hashtag ban Blizzard or hashtag boycott Blizzard. There's a couple going around. That doesn't stop me from opening this, and that doesn't stop me from being very, very excited for it, because WoW is very important to me. And it's also hard to open as well. But WoW is very, very important to me. I went through a pretty rough patch where I was laid off for a total of 16 months, during which time I stayed with my then girlfriend, now my wife, Rachel, and stayed home and applied to a lot of jobs pretty much every day, going online and, you know, putting my name in the hat for different positions that opened up, trying to just get on my feet. And that's when the economy was really bad. It was around 2010. We were in a pretty bad recession. My unemployment was actually extended numerous times. There we go. And yeah, WoW kept me going. I'm not saying I was suicidal or anything like that, but it was a rough time, very rough time for me. And really glad to have Warcraft in my life. I met some really, really cool people and had a really good time with the game. So no brainer when WoW Classic comes out that I am going to be getting it and that I'm going to be playing it. And I am not happy with what Blizzard has done to the streamer. I am not happy with how Blizzard has handled the situation. That said, I'm not taking all the artwork I have of Diablo and of Heroes of the Storm and of Warcraft and burning them. I'm not going to be doing that. And I've been looking forward to this game for a long time. And I was surprised because I didn't realize that the Collector Edition actually was scheduled to come out a month late. I thought GameStop lost my order. And I kept emailing them and saying, where's my stuff? Repeatedly. And they kept telling me it was coming. And I'm like, you guys lost my stuff. And turns out they didn't lose my stuff. It turns out that my stuff was just delayed. So kind of a weird choice from the World of Warcraft crew to, you know, send everything a month late, essentially, after the game has been out. And I know there's a lot of people who got the early edition, and there's a lot of beta testers and people who are much more influential than I getting early copies of everything, getting to play and stream it. I didn't get any of that stuff. I just wanted the Collector Edition, mostly for the statue, and now I have it, and I'm going to be opening it for you and everything else. So inside the box, I've done my best to fill the last 4 minutes with gibberish. You have the statue and you have this thing. We'll go ahead and open up this first. It's been a minute since I pre-ordered this. I believe, I could be incorrect, I believe I pre-ordered this back in May. Back when this was announced, and I don't really remember the contents. I saw them on the box briefly, but I didn't really want to look. I just kind of want to be surprised. I know the statue, obviously the big thing here. Now, with Blizzard games in general, as I stumble my way through the next set of packaging, Blizzard as a company has been really known for taking their time and only releasing stuff when it's done. And I've never gotten anything from them in terms of a collector edition that included a figure. I did buy the last two StarCraft 2 games collector edition, which came with art books and the soundtrack and everything, but this is the first time I've actually gotten a pretty large collector edition, at least of this size, that includes all of this nice packaging, and a physical statue. I've gotten a lot of free stuff from BlizzCon in the past. I say free. Some of it was goodie bags, some of it I had to pay for. Different statues and figurines and that sort of thing. I've gotten a lot of that in the past, but I have yet to get anything that's collector edition worthy from them. So I'm curious to see what level of polish they put into it. So first thing I see here, this is really, really cool. This is the old world of Azeroth with the Outland and Draenor included. So in the original Warcraft, all you had was good old Azeroth. Later on in the expansion, they included some of the other areas to explore, but that's a cool mouse pad because reminds me of the way things kind of used to be. Inside here is it's a pamphlet, or a folder rather, and on the back it says W15, and it says Fine Art Prints. I don't remember any of this. I'm very excited. I didn't know I had a mouse pad. I'm pretty excited. Looks like we have a cover page here, which includes, I assume, what the prints will be based on everybody here. Y Wang is somebody that I am extremely familiar with. I have some of his artwork actually downstairs. So let's go ahead and take a look at these fine art prints together. They're printed on standard matte paper. The W15 logo is embroidered slightly, so everywhere you see the W15, it's slowly etched in. Here's a picture of some heroes fighting Ragnaros, and let's see, does it say the titles or just the art name only? Nope. That's Ragnaros. Here is, you guys are gonna laugh at me, one of the Primevals, we'll just say that. We have this one, I think everybody can probably remember. This is the Arthas, the Lich King. That's an amazing print sitting there. And there you can see in the background, up at the very, very top, that's Sindragosa. That is some of the artwork that my wife and I have downstairs hanging up over our computer desks. Here is Deathwing and another dragon. I'm not sure which one, but there's Deathwing fighting a dragon. Here is from the Mists of Pandaria. There is a Panda Monk. I'm sure he's probably named Panda Monk, but you have one of them. We'll save the best for last. How about that? We'll go a little bit out of order here. You have Illidan the Betrayer. I remember him from Heroes of the Storm. He's actually really, really cool. He's one of my favorites. And we also have a really cool shot here of Sylvanas Windrunner fighting against Anduin. You could see, I think the name of the sword, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe is it Ashbringer? It was actually a two-part sword that his father, Varian Wind, could snap together. It looks like there's just one piece left, but you see them fighting on the battlefield. And the best for last, my boy, the true king of the Horde, Garrosh Hellscream. That is an amazing picture. I have this poster hanging on my cube wall, actually at work. Slightly cut off at the bottom for this art here, but this is a really nice collection of printed art, and I will definitely be hanging up a few of these pieces, probably the Lich King, and definitely Garrosh, probably get a nice frame. I have a lot of other Blizzard memorabilia downstairs in our computer room. It's actually almost exclusively Blizzard stuff, so really, really excited to add that to my collection. Inside we also have a pin that is a picture of a dragon's head, one of the dragon aspects. I don't recall which one that is. It's been a minute since I played, but my wife has been starting her own pin collection, and I'm sure she would love to add that to the board. And inside we have a folder here. There's nothing else here. Just want to make sure. A folder, and inside I'm going to guess is game codes or installation keys or something. And inside here we have Play Free, which includes get the Blizzard Battle.net app, and it automatically lets you play these various games: World of Warcraft, StarCraft 2, Heroes of the Storm, which is always free, and Hearthstone, which is always free. And just a nice little piece of artwork. There's no code. I'm not throwing it on purpose. There's no codes or anything here. It's just a standalone thing. And then we also have a 30-day of game time for anniversary mounts. So on here is a card, on the left is a 30-day of game time code, and on the right-hand side is a 30 anniversary mount. So I'll be redeeming these. If somehow through the magic of photography you are able to pause this video and upload these codes to your account, they've already been redeemed by the time I post it, so don't worry about that. Okay, moving on to the big item here, which those art prints, by the way, that was a very unexpected surprise, and the mouse pad I thought was actually really, really cool too. Moving on to the big boy here, just clear out some space. This is the Ragnaros Collector's Edition 15-year anniversary statue. On the side here, you could see his hammer. His hammer may have a name. I don't know. I say every good weapon has to have a name, right? I don't know if it does or not. But Ragnaros is one of the big bads in the classic WoW. He is one of the final raid bosses that you will come across. And there are instructions on how to put him together. This is a lot bigger of a box than I thought it was. I am still a little bit heartbroken by the size of, and I'm looking at it right now while I'm talking to you directly behind this camera, of my Monster Hunter World statue that I got. It's about this big. That was that the last collector edition I got? It might have been. Maybe I got God of War after that. I don't remember the release date on some of these. They all came in fast and furious at the end there, but I always think about that statue and how tiny it was and how misled I was. So when I see these collector edition statues coming out, I kind of get a little sad sometimes because I'm like, well, I don't really know what to expect. Now, I will say that when I was watching TV this evening, when I got home, spending some time with my wife, I heard the UPS guy come, and when he set this box down, or she, they did not set it down, they spiked this thing. I swear I heard it bounce. It was a very, very, very hard hit. So, thankfully, looks like GameStop did a phenomenal job of wrapping this up, and I'm trying to do my best not to make noise, I apologize. Looks like they did a phenomenal job of wrapping this up. The statue part and the box part, there was actually an outer box that protected this collector edition box, which was really, really good. And looks like it survived the fall mostly unscathed. A lot of these cellophane boxes that they wrap up definitely have a lot of TLC put into them, particularly in the final parts of the statue, because this is really why a lot of people bought this. Looking at the price point here as we finish opening this up, I want to say, I don't recall, you can correct me in the comments below, I want to say this was about $120 US, I could be incorrect. So if you're thinking of 30 days of game time, that we know for a fact is a $12 value if you buy them both. We also know that there's some artwork included in here, a mouse pad, and a pin. Not a lot of extras, although I guess art is subjective. It's printed on nice paper. Could you buy it separately? I don't know. So the majority of this price point definitely went into the statue, which is why I'm glad they spent a little bit of extra time wrapping it as well as they did, because I remember getting the Destiny Collector Edition, the first Ghost Edition, which, if you remember, the fever for let me get this thing up, for Destiny was through the roof at the time. And I got the Ghost Edition from Amazon, and the box was snapped into two, and it was quick RMA, and they were sold out, so I was stuck with a crappy box. So I always critique the boxes in these things, and I always talk about packing and how important it is to make sure that the statue and all of the pieces are not damaged. And I do like to display boxes from time to time. Unfortunately, don't have a lot of room left up here in the old man attic, so I don't really get to do that much anymore. That said, it's nice to keep the box. I put them in the attic, and if I ever do move, or if I ever want to put the statues away and rotate them out from time to time, I can do that without much of a problem. So I take my time and my care in opening these things very slowly, and when I'm done, I put them away even slower, and I don't let them get damaged. Now, let's take a look at Ragnaros. He's got a couple pieces. Looks like his hammer goes in over here on his right hand. It only goes in one way. On his left hand, it looks like there's his hand making a maniacal fist, and then we got a couple of flame type wings, which look like they pop in on his back here. and here. This is a hard plastic material. I don't know if you could tell. I wasn't sure based on the photo. Maybe they said this is the same kind of material that you see on most collector editions. It's got a very distinct smell to it. And let's go ahead and take a look at this. And I'm going to hold it up for you guys first. Make sure I got all the little cellophane pieces off. If you see any little white dots, that is because I missed one. Okay, let's go ahead and hold this up so you guys can take a look. Hopefully the iPad, hopefully the iPhone XS does us a nice job and zooms in properly, not on my big head in the background, but on the good stuff. And what Ragnaros is basically he is a fire elemental, so he is basically living flame. Carries a giant hammer with him, and he wreaks havoc on people. And he's got some armor that he wears over the flame, which is really, really neat. You see that in the breastplate, and he's got left and right kind of wrist guards. And then you can see the bottom there with the base. So let me go ahead and take a quick look at this. I kind of did while I was talking through it. What I like about this statue, as I say in many of my collector edition videos, is I like that there is no labeling on the bottom that says, this is Warcraft, this is Ragnaros, I'm a bad man. It's plain, and it's got that very distinct, jagged World of Warcraft style to it, so it's very true to the art form. So there's no labeling on the bottom of the statue, which I greatly appreciate. I guess I should show the base. It does say, wow, 15-year anniversary. It is unmarked in terms of numbering, so it's not like there's a serial number. Although mine does say PM 2190. Maybe that is a serial number, I don't know. A lot of these collector editions are not individually numbered, and they are mass produced, at least at the time of initial, purchasing. So a lot of times you won't see a set, 1 of 1,000 or 10 of 1,000,000 or whatever the number ends up being. I know they sold out very rapidly everywhere I looked. I bought mine from GameStop almost immediately, and I saw them on Amazon and some other stores as well. I love the statue. I am very, very happy I got this. I don't know if you can tell by my wonderful camera work, but this sucker is very, very, very heavy. It's solid plastic. There's definitely no hollow points anywhere. So this entire base is solid material. The gauntlet and the hammer do snap in very, very tightly, along with the flame wings that come out of his back. There's no seams or any kind of weird parts that I could see, particularly when they put these molds together. I have had other collector editions where there's a seam right down the center where they take the mold and actually push the two busts together and they pour the plastic or whatever inside. I'm not seeing any of that here on any part of his body. I love it. I love his face with the skull, and it reminds me a lot of old Warcraft. Just it looks and feels like Warcraft. Now this is going to be a tricky one to display, primarily due to its heft. I have a couple wall shelves back there, and I'm a little nervous putting something this large on there. So this guy might sit downstairs with me in front of the computer. But what an amazing, amazing collector edition. I'll go ahead and put that there, and I'll show you guys everything one last time for a final shot. We have the Ragnaros statue. We have the World of Warcraft mouse pad, the 15th year anniversary mouse pad with the 3 playable zones. We have a art folder. We have the art folder, which contained the 8 separate prints that were on the matte paper that included the W15 logo. A lot of art here from Y Wang, who I am very familiar with. As a matter of fact, Y Wang is responsible for 4 of the 8 pieces of art. That is how important I think that artist is to Blizzard. Clearly they do too. We have the codes for the 30 days of gameplay, along with the unique anniversary mounts of, it looks like a griffin for the Alliance, and some sort of random winged beast for the Horde. We also have the World of Warcraft pin, the WoW 15 pin of a random purple-headed dragon. Don't know who that dragon is, as I mentioned. A lot of nice stuff here. I totally am surprised by this. I kind of thought it was just this. The art is a very, very pleasant surprise. You guys can tell some of the artwork behind me here. I definitely like to frame a couple of the pieces and display them, and I will definitely be displaying some of these downstairs. I'm very, very excited to get a chance to hang those up, and I'm sure you'll see them in the background on some video I do in the future. Definitely a recommend for me in terms of the yay, nay, or eh scale. Definitely a yay. I think the statue alone is some really, really nice quality. It's definitely a premium price point considering you're only getting 30 days of the game. With a subscription-based game, they didn't really go all out and give you a full year or 6 months. They give you just 1 month. Don't really care too much about the mount part of it. I know that's exciting to a lot of people, but I was never really big into the vanity stuff of the game, so that part of it not as excited about. The mouse pad, nice pleasant surprise, and the art definitely. So premium price point in terms of the limited amount of stuff you got, but this statue on its own, definitely already eyeballing where I think it could go downstairs, maybe potentially next to Gaius up here under my window from Shadow of the Colossus. I hope you guys enjoyed this extended deep dive look of the World of Warcraft 15th year anniversary collector edition. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you got one. Let me know if you are still playing, and tell me why I should roll Horde, because you know what, for the Horde. With that, I'd like to close out this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.